So this is a what's in my camera bag to start 2026. So I'll kind of walk you through everything, show you what I got. So first is the Peter McKinnon Polar Pro. This is a VND. This is a 6 to 9 stop. So it's great in like harsh sunlight, which is good for me when I'm shooting golf content on the golf course, or if you're out in the city and it's just real bright, really bright conditions. You want to have a variable ND filter like this to reduce the sunlight so you can maintain your shutter speed and your aperture. This is my most used piece of equipment when I'm out filming on the golf course. It's a must have. I'm glad I went with this one over the 2 to 5 stop. I have a 2 to 5 stop on, which I'm shooting right now. Anyway, I use this a ton, so I'm glad I got this. This is pretty expensive. It was like $250, but I use it all the time. This does the job. Now, the one that's on the camera right now is a Freewell, which is a 2 to 5 stop. This is just the magnetic cover that goes on the front of it. So if it's not so bright, but decently sunny, you still want to have basically another VND to limit the sunlight that's entering the lens. Now, I'll use this, early mornings or right before the sun goes down. But again, most of the time when I'm out shooting on the golf course, that Polar Pro Peter McKinnon 6 to 9 stop lives on my camera lens. Next piece of equipment, which I'm shooting on right now, and I hope the audio is okay, but I'm shooting on it right now. It's the Sony ECM M1 microphone. I picked this up last month, and I really picked it up because there's no cords. It plugs right into the hot shoe of your camera, Sony camera, and there's different modes, so you can turn on the back, do directional audio, and I think it's really useful, again, when I'm shooting golf content. So I am not having to mic up players. I still do mic up players for player and caddy interactions, but for group settings and around the fire or breakfast and lunches and dinners and group settings overall, it's really good to be able to just turn the camera on, point and shoot, and capture crisp audio. The all-around circle is nice when you're just shooting for environmental sounds. So I'll do that when I'm playing golf or when I'm shooting in the city. I'll make a video on that specifically, but the audio quality is miles better than just what's out of the camera body. Now, what's next here is those DJI mics. Now, the DJI mics are nice, but again, I think from like a user-friendly perspective, just being able to plug this in right into the hot shoe of the camera and start shooting and get great crisp audio is fantastic. The no cords is great because as you start to build out your camera rig, you start to develop more HDMI cords and this and that. So if you can limit one cord, you want to be able to do that. Those wireless lav mics sound out everything else except for the person that's wearing it. So if you're trying to get group content, it's really hard to get everybody's voice recorded on that one mic or the two or whatever that you have. But you miss out on the environmental sound. So this is a really this is always on my camera when I'm shooting. Next is my most recent pickup, everybody's favorite. This is the Laowa 10mm lens, zero distortion autofocus. So it's an f2.8 10mm. First of all, it looks really sweet. I don't know if you can see it, I'm not holding it properly. I'm nervous, I don't want to drop this thing. This is awesome for talking headshots at home. Again, has an autofocus and manual focus switch on the side. With it being 10mm, you get an incredibly wide focal length. You're able to get some just really unique shots. It's a great vlogging lens. So I'll use this when I'm going on golf trips to show some behind the scenes content. If I'm vlogging around the city, this lives on my camera. Now, speaking of VNDs, this Laowa is a 77mm thread on front. And I picked this up after I got my other VNDs, so they don't fit. I picked a VND up at my local camera store. It fit on, it was the 77 and it screwed on, but there was heavy vignetting on the sides. So because it's so wide, you want to get a step-up ring to go to 95mm VND. Because this image is so wide, with the wide VND on there, it will reduce the vignetting, basically, so it's unnoticeable. So even though this is a 77mm, you're gonna want a VND that's really wide. But if you're just have your home desk set up and you're doing talking headshots and you can control the lighting in your home setup, you won't need a VND, and this thing is perfect for that. You know, unique POV perspectives. You can put this on those suction mounts on your car or on your shower door or on your mirror, and you can get some really unique perspectives. It's really lightweight. It's way lighter than what I'm shooting on here, so it is able to hold on those magic arms. But if you're looking for a wide angle lens, I highly recommend this. It is kind of hard to find. I found this in that local camera store and was able to trade a couple lenses and buy this. If you could find it, I definitely recommend picking it up. It's a great wide angle lens. Next in the camera bag, this is a small rig V-mount battery. What it does is you charge this, which can charge all of your equipment. On top of plugging this in, there's an attachment, which I don't have in here because I'm not using it today, but there's a plate that this clips on. It hooks onto the back of the camera rig, and then this plugs in with the dummy battery into the camera, and this will power the camera. You won't use any of the Sony batteries or batteries like camera batteries. This will power the camera. What I've noticed on the golf course, that a Sony battery takes about an hour and a half out there. I have a couple other batteries, which I'll get to in a second, to switch it, but one battery like this basically lasts me 4 hours. This gets me through a round of golf, and which is incredibly useful, so I don't have to worry about changing out batteries or missing a shot. I just plug this into the back of the camera and it powers the entire rig throughout the day. The dummy battery plugs into the side of this V-mount right here. It goes in D-tap, powers the camera. You can use it as a portable charger for your phone and other things. You can power other accessories on your camera rig. So there's 2 USB-C plugs, a regular USB plug, and then 2 of these like circle plug. I don't know what they're called, and you can charge your iPad or your phone or whatever right from carrying this around. So I charge this, if I have to, I charge it every night, and it's just a good thing to throw in my camera bag. So if I'm getting cold out shooting in the city of Chicago and I just want to stop in the coffee shop and plug this in, plug my other headphones in or something like that, there's just like an external power bank if I'm not charging my camera. So this thing has been awesome, and I really should pick up another one because I would just have another one charged. So if I was on a longer shoot throughout the day, say like a 36-hole event, a travel trip or something like that, I would just be able to have the second one, and all you do is just take it off the plate on the back, swap it out, plug the other one on, then you're good to go. You'll get 8 hours of shooting essentially before you even have to touch any of your Sony batteries. Or if you have like a home setup and you're looking to power like lights or monitors or anything like that, this is awesome. Next up, I had the DJI Mic 1s. Now I know like the Mic 2s are all the rage. They came out with the Mic 3s and the Mic Minis. I still have the Mic 1. I actually lost one of the mics, but it's only me anyway, so it's fine. I just have the one. Well, they made a massive improvement on the Mic 2s. Now the Mic 2s they have the 32-bit float, so you don't have audio clipping. The signal definitely goes in and out, especially if you get further away from the camera. What I like about this when I'm shooting golf content is I can get the player-caddy interaction, which is so cool to hear. You know, obviously people like hearing that on tour events, so to have that with you and your caddy is pretty neat. The Mic 2s also have an attachment that hooks into the hot shoe. The Mic 1s don't have that. So the Mic 1 hooks into a cable into the camera, and it's just another thing it's just another cable. So I'm not really, I wouldn't say in love with these. They work, but definitely if there's a piece of equipment that I'm looking to upgrade, it would be, I think the DJI Mic 3s, because you're able to hook up 4 mics to that. So to be able to hook up everybody to one of those channels would be pretty neat, like the entire foursome. But in the meantime, these do the job with my Sony ECM M1 microphone. Now, the windscreen in this case design and the Mic 1s too, the windscreen doesn't fit in here. So for this video, I'm using the Sony ECM M1 mic. I was going to use this, but I forgot the windscreen. The new cases are designed to where it fits in there so you won't forget them. I also do notice that the charge on these kind of, maybe because I've had them for quite some time, they do kind of die out relatively quickly. Either way, I love DJI products. I think these are a solid microphone, but definitely worth an upgrade in the near future. Getting into some accessories. This is a small rig side handle that I'll throw on the camera. It's got a cold shoe mount right there, so I can plug in, and some threaded holes so I can plug in like either a magic arm or my audio receiver right here. And also this cool switch on the inside, you can press this down as you're holding it, and then this part swivels like this, so you can get interesting angles and get your hand and your wrist more comfortable when you're out shooting and you're using the camera for video. This gives you a stable grip on the camera, like another handle on the camera, so you can pin your elbows in and keep the shots relatively steady if you don't have a gimbal. So this is a really good purchase. This is the TT38 tripod from Ulanzi. I have a Ulanzi tripod that I'm shooting on now, which is the TT09, the Video Go. I think it was like a $300 tripod. This one was like 50 bucks. It's a really good vlog tripod, and I'll use this in partnership with that Laowa 10mm, because you can just, with a click of a button, you just slide this button up, and the legs kick out, and then it's a tabletop tripod. You can also unclip this hook and hang it from a door frame, and you can get some really interesting shots, but it's really lightweight. It's got this swivel in the back, so it's a ball head. You could swivel everything. You could either go vertical, like vertical content shots, or horizontal. All right, next piece of equipment is the top handle. The top handle, I might have to look in getting a new top handle or adjusting my rig setup a little bit, because the top handle doesn't work with the ECM M1 mic plugged in because of the way that the hot shoe is oriented, where the hole for the top handle in the cage goes. There's no room. I use this when I had the DJI mics plugged in, because I could plug the transmitter into somewhere else and I can have access to that top handle spot. So if I am doing that, it's really easy. Obviously, you just keep the camera by your side and you just hold it like you're holding a briefcase. This has a cold shoe mount, again, in both slots, threaded options in the middle, comfortable grip, and those cold shoe mounts allow for external monitors. You can throw in that attachment, and then you can plug in. It's really easy to hold the camera with a monitor right there, so you can see what you're shooting. This one from my DJI Osmo 6, I think. I just took it off, and essentially you can screw this into either the side of your camera and just set it on the ground, or hold it, and that's just an easy way to keep your shots steady and pretty accessible if you just had to set it on the sidewalk real quick or on a coffee table. And then this one is a lot bigger. You versus the guy she told you not to worry about. This one, same thing. It's just a little wider, more secure. Your setup's a little on the heavier side. This one is solid. This one is from my DJI RS4 gimbal. Now, the gimbal is also in here. We'll go through my accessories, and then I'll show you the top-down image, and then I'll get into the gimbal. This is also a Ulanzi phone clip attached to like a magic arm, and then get some really cool like POV shots and spin that around. I'm sure you guys have seen that on social media. You can put your phone in horizontally or pivot it so it's vertically, however you want to do it. So I use this with the magic arm quite a bit. Speaking of magic arms, here's your classic magic arm. This just swivels around. Screw this into your camera, and then right now this is the clamp that's on there, so you could basically put this on any pole or sign or whatever, anything that you could attach this to, and then lock this down, and essentially it goes from rotating to steady, and you can basically attach your camera to anything. I would say, I don't know if it's just me, but maybe my camera, like the Tamron lens that I'm shooting on, which is another thing I'll talk about, but the Tamron lens that I'm shooting on is decently heavy, so maybe that's part of the reason why. But I've seen creators have two of these. So you have, this is clamped on to something stable, and then the other part is in your camera setup. And I've seen creators basically use two of them to do the same thing, and that way the camera's not shifting or rotating anywhere. I think that's probably a smart idea, because sometimes if the setup is a bit on the heavier side, this thing will start to rotate and it won't be as just locked in, just holding it in thin air. Will have the tendency to fall or adjust, and you can't really like line up your shots. I think having two of them would be beneficial, so I'll probably throw another one of these, or just one. There's another one, I forgot what it was called, but there's another one that has like those quick release plates on it, and it holds a bit more weight. So I was thinking about maybe just picking that up instead. I just picked up on Amazon And I should have picked this up a long time ago, because so often you're out shooting and you have to change the plates or tighten something up or whatever the case may be. And this is basically a pocket wrench from Small Rig, every size Allen wrench or flathead or screwdriver that you could ever want. This just slides right into your accessory pouch in your bag. You don't have to worry about forgetting a screw at home or a wrench at home or something. Now, this is my DJI RS4 gimbal, and the other piece is in there, but basically I'm not going to take it out, but you guys get the point. This backpack allows you to carry all of this equipment that I just showed you. Obviously there's a base that hooks into the bottom, which is in my bag I didn't take out, and then this tripod hooks into the base, and I just think it's astonishing that this Peter McKinnon bag can carry all of this stuff. This gimbal is great. I use it when I'm shooting golf. Obviously, it's just a different dynamic. There's so many things I love about videography, and I think that one thing that I really loved the most when I first started doing golf content, shooting players on the golf course, was I love the shot composition. And I'll make a different video or a couple short form posts about that. I think looking for shots, not only does the camera make the quality just look so amazing, but framing of a shot and learning different composition is just so awesome. It makes your round look like a movie. It's unbelievable. And learning about less camera movement versus more. Now, the gimbal allows you to have more camera movement and stable camera movement. It's a completely different dynamic. The shots are so smooth. You're able to track the player as they're swinging. I like it because I'll use it when I'll stand in front of a player from face on as they're teeing off, and then be able to rotate my body around in front of them so I can watch their face reacting to the shot and record that while the camera stays nice and smooth. I don't have to worry about stabilizing in post or anything like that. I can just really track the player, and it's just a very different look and feel. The environment behind them stays steady as the player stays centered, and it just makes the shots look very unique, very professional. You're able to get low angle shots where you can trace players' feet or the ball and rise up, and again the shot stays just so smooth. Now there's different modes on here. I'll make a separate video about the gimbal because I like using the gimbal in the city. I just think it's fun. I just think it's fun to use the gimbal. It's fun the whole thing is fun, but it's really, you can just get different shots going handheld versus gimbal. So on here, the side switch, there's pan, tilt, and follow, pan and tilt, and then FPV. But you can play around those settings. I'll make a separate video about that. It plugs into the camera via USB-C. You don't have to press record on the top of the camera. You just have it right from your thumb. It has an auto lock function, which is amazing. So you can keep the camera on, turn the gimbal on and off, and then the camera will pivot and all of a sudden just lock its axis, and you're able to just walk around and don't have to worry about the camera bouncing all over the place. It's the gimbal is locked. It does take a little bit of time to balance. There's an addition that I do want to get to just make life a little easier, again, because I use the quick release plates. You can get a quick release plate for this. So you can go from tripod, slide the camera out, and then quick release it onto the DJI gimbal just in a second, not have to change the base plate out, throw it in here, tighten it up. It just makes that whole assembly process a lot easier. Now, this will attach to the right-hand side of the gimbal. You can change the handle positions. This gives you another point of contact. So I'll lock this off here. You can swivel it around to whatever fits your needs. As you're holding the gimbal, you hold on to this. There's threaded points up here and a cold shoe mount, so you can throw in a monitor, which I do when I'm filming golf, is that I'll throw in the monitor, and I'm watching the monitor right in front of my face so I can frame the shot up. With the camera on the gimbal, it's hard to see the screen, so to see what you're shooting, the external monitor on here is essential. You're able to frame the shots, keep them very just soft and smooth, and then see what you're shooting. This allows you to go low angle briefcase style and get some different unique shots. Now what we'll do, is that fucking bird shit? There's no way that's bird shit. Can't be. Whatever. I don't know. Let's do one more thing before I have to change my battery in my camera. This is the Peter McKinnon bag. Cool design. I mean, super rugged. Open this up. Okay, now obviously, camera goes in here. These are all my accessories, all the tripods I showed you. My Laowa lens, V-mount battery, DJI mics. This is the bottom of the gimbal. Okay, so this just shoves right in the bottom of the gimbal that I showed you. And it's the battery. You can get a battery extender for longer battery use, but this is fine for me. Side handle, all my accessories and tools and this and that. Magic arm, you know, my variable, and these, the bag for my microphone, gimbal in here. You could do something else if you wanted to, but this just works for me. Anyway, the cool thing is that it just stands by itself. So you could just set it down if you're not using it. This is the front of the bag. This stuff just will wipe off. Now, if you're getting this camera, or sorry, if you're getting this bag, I highly recommend these straps. So these straps, those are from Nomadic, the company that makes this bag. So I got, the set comes with two. It hooks onto here, so you can put like a jacket or something like that. This works with the tripod, and I'll show you what it looks like. These flaps will open, but if without these straps, the tripod will just flap around. Oh, also what I didn't show you, I'm able to throw my iPad right in here. Slot for an iPad or a MacBook, whatever you want to use. Now, I'll put the tripod in there. All right, see that? So now, it's way more secure. I can tighten it up a little bit more, but now when you're carrying this, it stays locked in.
Well, the other two very important pieces of equipment that I did not shoot out there on the lakefront would be the camera that I'm actually shooting on. So the camera that I'm shooting on is a Sony a6700. I got this camera. It's a really good hybrid camera for both photos and video. I have a small rig camera cage on here, but I've had this camera for about a year. The image quality is fantastic. It's a crop sensor. It's an APS-C camera, which I actually think bodes well for me on the golf course compared to a full frame. You know, obviously I don't really shoot in low light conditions unless I'm just shooting in the city. The colors that come out of this camera are amazing. I shoot in S-Log 3, so I color grade all my footage, and I have a lot of flexibility in post. Okay, so this is my Sony a6700 camera. As you can see, there's a switch for photos, videos, and slow and quick, which would be your slow motion or your time lapses. I shoot in the M setting for manual, so I can control my settings. This is a Tamron 17-70 f2.8 lens. So this is what I shoot on for the most part when I'm shooting my golf content. For the focal range that I want and that I'm dealing with, this lens is great. It's wide enough for me to capture group shots on the tee boxes. Then I could punch in to 70 millimeters and get macro shots as well. And this is my DJI Air 3 drone. Just a ton of fun to use. This is what got me started in videography. I bought this 2 or 3 years ago. I'll never forget the first time that I flew it up there on the golf course, and I got home and looked at the footage, and I was just in shock of how beautiful the course looked. But it was just a, you know, the sun was setting and everything was just absolutely stunning on camera.
All right, so that's what's in my camera bag to start 2026. It's pretty amazing that this camera bag, which is again, this camera bag is the Peter McKinnon Nomadic 25 liter, one large camera cube. That's what I like. You can go online and check out anything else they have, but that's my preference. Make sure you get the accessory straps that go on the front and the sides. Those are massive. They're like 25 bucks. It's totally worth it. You're able to carry everything around way more securely. Everything's super padded. It stands by itself. It's actually not as big as you would think when it's on. It's super comfortable. The straps are really comfortable. It's an easy bag to travel with, and it's just able to carry so much. What's not with me, because I'm shooting in the city, but what I will take on golf trips is my drone. Now, my drone is at home. I would be able to kind of reconfigure what I have, what I wanted to bring. But this definitely fits a camera, a lens, and a drone. Looking for a camera bag, make sure you grab this Peter McKinnon 25 liter. It's awesome. That's what's in my camera bag to start 2026. I'll be doing golf content, hope you're traveling around the country, filming groups, travel, and foursomes out there on the golf course, and a lot of city content too. So please be sure to follow along as I dive into cameras and videography and golf and talk about all that good stuff. So have a great 2026. Let's get it started.